What's up, guys? We are live. MMA Bug is back. The channel has been open. We used to be called MMA Bug Podcast. We've changed that now, right? There's a lot of other podcasts and entertainment shows you guys can go check out that we're not going to get into because today is not about entertainment. Well, what I decided to do with MMA Bug is create this new thing called MMA Bug Round Table. And the purpose of MMA Bug Round Table is kind of like what MMA Bug used to be, which is catering to the underdog, the amateur fighter, the amateur scene. So what I have today is gym owners, business owners, fight promotion owners, amateur and pro, and we're going to discuss what has been happening and how it is affecting them in New York. New York is one of the states that took very extreme measures during the lockdown of the pandemic, as you guys know. Also, I should mention, in one of our windows, one of the people took the time out from his own personal birthday to give us some of y'all time and tell his story. So he's going to hop in when he's ready, so that's why you see what you see. He's back. Let me unmute him. What's up, Joe?
Okay, boys. Sorry, man. I apologize.
Okay. No problem. No apologies. You step off as much as you have to. We're going to get through this program no matter what. All right. So with that said, that's the opener. We'll go through some introductions. I'm gonna catch people up on the state of New York and some of the things the governor himself said in case they don't know. So let's first, real quick, get it out the way. Introductions. We have Christian from Strong Island Boxing. Thank you for adding it to the thing to help me out.
No doubt, no doubt.
Christian from Strong Island Boxing.
You can tell who the rookie is, right? Mine just says Joe.
No, you know what it is? I have a problem saying your last name, Joe. So I'm gonna need you to say it.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So you guys know. So let's go to Joe next. That's Joe rocking the cool New York hat like me. You know what I'm saying? So Joe, tell us your name, tell us your brand and your business.
The name of my company is Energy Force Training. We're located in Deer Park and just opened up in February, man. We're a boxing gym / weight training facility, and yeah, pretty much just opened up. So it's been a rough patch, to say the least.
Yeah, you're gonna get a chance to tell your story. We're doing introductions, so thank you for queuing us in, but saving it for the the good part.
Of course.
All right, and then what we got here, Mr. Smiley, co-host of mine on another show. He's also my personal trainer, so much respect to this man. I've known for a while. He's like a brother to me. Bobby Campbell from Jack Campbell Promotions and Campbell's Kickboxing. I just realized I did your introduction for you, but that's what happens with live. You know, I just flow with it. So with that said, we got introductions out the way. I'm TSG, Sleeping Giant. Compared to these guys, I'm a nobody. So you guys already know who I am. I don't even need to get into it. So now let's talk about what we're here to talk about. So what we're here to talk about today is how the lockdown has been affecting many people. There are many misconceptions. People believe because there's an SBA loan out there and because there's unemployment out there that everything is kosher and everything is smooth, when that's far from the truth. While that's happening, there are many contradictions coming from our local government, which kind of inspired this whole discussion in the first place. As of last Friday, the weekend of Memorial Day, the governor of New York stated clearly he signed a new executive order allowing gatherings of up to 10 people for any reason, including a Memorial Day celebration. So with that said, respect to the veterans and the military, obviously we appreciate them. But what Memorial Day weekend is for some people, whether it's to honor them or just to have a barbecue, it comes down to there's lots of parties, there's lots of barbecues. So people can gather for fun. People can gather for literally any reason except for your business. You know, so we're here to talk about how it's affecting the business and the idea that the governor is saying we can gather 10 people for any reason except gym owners can't open to phase 4. That's what people don't realize. Things are opening in phases. So essentially, a gym may not be able to open on Long Island and in the regions of New York that are, you know, for weeks or months at a time. Why can't they have 10 customers? So that's what we're going to talk about. And with that said, now we're going to move into testimonials. Each of these men have been affected in the same manners and then individually, because there are different angles that this affects you from. Yes, we have a virus crisis, but we also have a financial, economical crisis. And with that said, respect to all the victims, the people who are suffering from financial crisis are also victims too. And we have to figure out a way to get everybody along, okay? Because while we're protecting one, we're leaving others behind, okay? Creating bigger messes or more additional problems. So with that said, let's get into it. I want to open up with Christian Vasquez from Strong Island Boxing. He's going to tell you a story verbatim, but I just want to let you guys know, during the pandemic, Christian followed all the rules that were given. And one of the things that they said is people could transition to remote or online teaching and online schools.
Yep.
So he's in his building following all the laws and new orders, even though they dramatic, and still was cited for being disorderly and going against the order. He was the only person on his private property doing an online school. So now with that said, can you please talk us through that day and what occurred?
Well, first off, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it, giving me this platform to speak on it. You know, I shut down my gym March 15th when they told us to shut down. And when I first shut it down, not only was it because they mandated it, but I cared about my members. I cared about the community. I didn't know what we were facing. So I was like, all right, let's shut down. Let's follow the rules because we don't know what it was. As time went on, you kind of seen what it was about. I'm not going to get too deep into that. But 2 months later, I've been doing viral classes the whole time. And if I had one or two other people in the gym with me doing the classes, according to the guidelines, I was told that was fine because you need yourself to instruct. Right. And sometimes I would do it by myself, but sometimes I would have one of my fighters, you know, doing the exercise as I
read those guidelines they're discussing. Many people will probably just assume you might be making this up, but they can go check the guidelines. It was clearly in the guidelines. I read them myself. You can be on your property for online schooling with a certain amount that you said. You know what I mean? So with that said, I wanted to support what you're saying. Please go on with your
Thank you for clarifying that. And so I was doing the online classes. Not only was I doing them, but I was doing them for free. I was just doing them to keep my community just engaged, keeping the brand going, and maybe just, you know, reaching out to other people who might need the time to exercise and keep their mind off the news. So I was doing my best, doing my part for the community as well as my business to keep the brand. So I don't even know what day it was. I think it was 2 weeks ago, Monday, I did my virtual class, and as I'm teaching the class, I see a fire truck pulling up, and in my mind, I'm laughing. I'm like, all right, he's coming with my balls or whatever. So I kept doing my online class. I kept doing it, and he came to the door, and I let him watch me do the class because I knew I wasn't in the wrong. He had to wait for me to finish. When I finished, then I said, "How you doing, sir? How could I help you today?" I was polite, respectful. And he just had a piece of paper already filled out. He didn't even ask me what was going on. He didn't observe the situation. He gave me a cease and desist letter. And I said, "What's this for?" And he says, "Oh, you got to leave your premises." I said, "I don't have to leave my premises. I pay rent here. I'm here with one person with social distancing, and I'm giving a free online class that I'm allowed to. I know the guidelines. Obviously,
And the guidelines allowed you to make money if it was virtual. And you were still providing it for free, and still. But go on. I just wanted to.
And I told him that. I said, not only am I doing, I said I'm doing a virtual class that I'm allowed to, but I'm doing it for free. And then you busted my balls. So he said, he did say this. "I agree with you, but I'm doing my job." And I said, "You're not doing your job because you're in the wrong." I said, if I was in the wrong, I'd be like, all right, I'm wrong, but I know I'm in the right. I said, "Do me a favor, just rip that up. Do an about face and go back to your car and go buy the dollar store. There's 50 people in there on top of each other." And he stayed there. You know, we had a conversation. I expressed how I felt, and he still gave me the citation, and that was it. He did tell me in the process. He said, "Listen, I could have the cops here right now, and they can arrest you and make you leave." And I said, "Call the cops." I said, "Call them," but he knew he was wrong, so he left. He gave me the citation, and that was it.
May I ask how much they were trying to fine you?
No, it wasn't a fine. It was just I wasn't allowed in my facility no more.
Got you. I understand. Well, what would have been happening is
you can't come back.
Yeah, they've been doing that to some places. It's kind of like a warning. So if you get seen on it now, they can slap you with. I don't know if you guys know, but the business fine is $10,000. So you guys are not working, and then they expect you to pay a punishment of $10,000. You're trying to figure out how to pay your rent, but go on. I'm sorry. This makes me passionate too. But go on, Christian.
No, so I was upset. I was upset because I just feel like there's a lot of companies that are open, businesses that are open that aren't essential to me as much as a gym is. That where we help people, fitness, health, that helps people mentally, physically, emotionally. And I feel like we are essential. So for them to bust my chops, I got upset. I'm glad I had a camera in my facility. We filmed it. I posted it on Facebook, and it went viral, I guess, on Long Island because it had over 30,000 shares. And so one of the legislators, hopefully I'm not going too far for everybody. I'm good?
Yeah, you're good. We're fine.
All right. So one of the legislators got wind of it. He got the wind of the video. He made a mandatory conference call with a lot of legislators on Long Island and some fire departments. They used that night that it happened. They used my video as an example of what not to do moving forward.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
that helps.
He said, this is not going to happen again. You're not going to just go in a business and just give them citations. It's not going to happen. It's unlawful. So moving forward, we're going to operate like this. I don't know exactly how, but it's different. The next morning, I got a phone call from local councilman Dan Panico. Awesome dude. Does great for the community. I stand by him, whatever he wants to do. He called me up. He said, Chris, don't worry about anything. I took care of it. I called the fire marshals. The cease and desist is null and void. Go back to business as usual. You'll have no more problems. An hour later after that, I got a phone call from the head fire marshal, and he apologized on behalf of the other fire marshal. He said, go back to doing what you're doing. I know you're doing a great thing for the community. You're a good guy. You're local. You grew up here. We just apologize. Want to let you know everything's cool. There's no more cease and desist. So from that point on, now I'm continuing doing my viral classes, and I'm trying my best to hang on.
Yeah, I'm glad that it turned out the way it turned out, because that was the right thing to do. But to be 100% honest, if your video hadn't gone viral, you may not have received the same help. So all I'm trying to say is that how many more gyms have been wrongfully cited? Tons, I'm sure, but people don't know these things, so we're just here to give a little insight of what's going on. So we appreciate the men that stepped forward, men and women that stepped forward to help Christian out.
Yeah.
But you also got to consider what would have happened had Christian not recorded with his security cameras and then uploaded to the internet. So hopefully that was a guiding light to how the procedure should be handled.
Yeah.
With that said, momentarily, unless you got something else to add, we're going to move on. But we're going to come back to you because we have a group conversation. But if there's anything else you want to add, you can add now.
Just one thing I added. I just want to say, anybody, if you're watching, I appreciate everybody's support in sharing my video to get it going, to go viral, and to have the support to get that lifted. So thank you guys for your support.
Absolutely. You know what, gentlemen? Before I move on to the next story, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I put my air conditioner on before we started this, and I'm freezing. I don't want to start trembling live. So I'm going to get up and shut my air conditioner off momentarily. Give me one moment.
As we're waiting for Jose to come back, if you guys are watching this, please make sure you share. If you're an other gym owner on Long Island, please make sure you share this and just let everyone hear all the stories of these gym owners out there. Trying to be a plug, Jose.
Great. I love it. Thank you. I don't know if my fiance is watching, but she told me not to put the air conditioner on. I should have listened. I was like, while Christian, you were talking, I was like trying not to tremble.
Like, you need a blanket.
I was so cold. But thank you so much for sharing that with us. It was very important for people to know.
Thank you for having me. Hold on.
So I want to talk to Joe. Joe, we've met a while ago, and instantly we clicked. I get great energy from you, great vibes. I can tell you're an awesome person. You're a good person, and you're fair. You're fair, you're honest, and you're forward. So in the beginning, you did everything that was asked you. You did all the stuff they told you, even though you are in the position to be one of the most affected people by it. And the reason why you would be more affected than others, you're going to explain to us. So please talk us into how everything pretty much just started for you when all this occurred.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, it's an honor to be on here with you guys. Christian, man, you don't know. I've known you, man, for a long time. Ronnie was coaching me at Heavy Hitters. That's when I met you a long time ago, brother.
No
it's
doubt,
a long time. And Bobby, I have nothing but respect for you. You know that. And, what happened was, 10 years, man, 10 years of working hard, finally getting my own gym, getting my own space, working hard, getting ready to go when then this hits. Pretty much we stayed with the same protocol. Everything was the same. Everything for what we knew at the time. It was social distance, because they don't really know what the hell it is. They still don't know what the hell it is. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
No one knows what this is. No one knows how to cure it, and no one knows what it is. So, but like Christian said, my concern was all of my clients, nobody getting sick, to make sure they were safe. So virtual, that's the first thing we start doing. So we started doing all the virtuals. We get all that. People respond, and people respect that, and that's going to show a lot of loyalty whenever we're allowed to. Those people are going to stay, and they told their friends and their friends. So we're going to hopefully grow as a business from that. But and then we hear about these SBA loans. I'll say it again. You heard about SBA loans. Nobody got that. I got nothing. I didn't get unemployment.
No one believes me when I say that.
No one got nothing. And these rent controls. My guy wants his rent, or I'm out of my ass at the end of the day. So, and then they said, and then they're telling me you have to leave your facility. Well, I pay to be here, bro. I pay to be in this establishment. I'm by myself, and that's an issue. That just seems to be a common thing Christian had and Bobby had, is that don't tell me to leave some place that I pay rent and that you're not going to help me pay rent with.
Also, to add to your point, you don't just have a rent issue. You had just opened at a new location. So you had to take business loans for your machines, your equipment. You don't have to put your numbers out there, but I know a little bit about business. I know it's in the thousands, okay? And that's just starting. Then you got your rent that build up, that they want. So you got loans with interest. You got rent and no source of new income,
So
go on.
No, but then it spirals into my home and my mortgage. It's not just the business that's affected. Now it's my life that's affected.
Absolutely.
So, that's what it goes into that. And I think the biggest mistake that's been made is that Christian has a wonderful facility. So does Bobby. But we're not gyms like LA Fitness, where you have 300 people. We're a different breed. Like, we do different things. Like, we have 10, 20 people in there at a time. So this thing needed to be structured to where we knew where we were going to be. That they needed to be a different guideline for what we do and for what these other big gyms do. Because at the end of the day, don't tell me I can't have 10, 12, 20 people in that is 6 feet apart, social distance, when LA Fitness, listen, there's 300 people walking through Lowe's every day. Touching every single item on the shelf. You're telling me I can't have 10
valid
people
point.
in there?
Valid
Come
point.
on, man.
And then
So
think about now. They're saying 10 people could gather, but you still cannot have 10 people for a class until phase 4. That's something I got to address because people forget. But I'm sorry, go on.
No, you're right, bro. The issue is that I'll guarantee you, I've seen Christian's gym. I know many people who go to Christian's gym. They love his gym. I know Lisa, John. I know a lot of people that go to you, Christian. Very, very respected. Bobby,
thank you, Joe.
Of course, brother. Off the show for YouTube. I know how clean these guys' gyms are. I guarantee you, we're more cleaner than the bigger gyms out there.
Absolutely, because of the traffic.
But the problem, this was not handled correctly. This guideline wasn't handled correctly. And then for people to tell me that, I don't care about, I'm being selfish. It's not being selfish. It's not being selfish, bro. The word essential needs to be different. I take care of my family through my business. My daughter has autism. My job is essential. If I do it safe and correctly, like everybody else does, tell me I can't be open. I got an issue with that because, at the end of the day, I don't care if I'm on live, they can see me. I'm telling you right now, my doors are opening soon. I don't give a shit because I'd rather die. If you're going to bring me down and make me lose everything, it's not going to be because of your tyrannical rules on my knees. I'm going to fucking stand on my feet swinging and I'm going down that way.
And then that's the
way it has to
and
be,
that's the problem. Somebody would attack someone like you for saying what you just said. And it's not fair to you because what they brought it to is they decide who's essential, who's not essential. But every person who earns a check to take care of the family, it's essential.
100%.
And then, I got so fixated on the business aspect, but your guys' personal lives are also affected because you have personal rents and personal problems and kids to feed. And the SBAs are not coming through. And that's what kills me too, is that the governor himself has admitted that New York ran out of unemployment. I don't know if you guys know, unemployment weeks ago. We're beyond 6 billion behind. I know mad people who've been on unemployment that are telling me they're receiving letters saying we owe you. We're gonna get that to you. You know what I mean?
I got that.
Yeah, they owe you back pay forever. This whole back
while
pay
that's happening, you guys aren't the only gym owners I know and business owners that are not gyms that are not getting the SBAs. And then what's the federal government admitting? Oh, big businesses found a loophole and they took all the money for the small businesses. We're running out of money. We don't know how we're going to cover the SBA. They don't know how they're going to cover the current SBA that already approved. And then they're telling people who set out to get approval that are waiting for eligibility that they have to wait to be processed because they're still waiting to pay the people who are already processed. So it's a lot of uncertainty. And
Jose, let me ask you a question. Is that Christian's problem? Is that Bobby's problem? Is that my problem?
Oh no, of course not. What I'm trying to say,
they don't know what they they don't know what they're doing. So we have to sit back and behave and positively use what we built and our brand.
Good point.
Yeah, exactly. What I was trying to point out.
Every one of us does something different. Christian's gym is different than mine. Bobby's is different than mine, and that's what makes us great because we all bring a different feel to what we do.
Absolutely.
But because they don't have their shit together.
Yeah.
We might lose everything. It's not happening.
Of course, yeah, and that's
that
wrong. What I wanted to point out, Joe, is that what happens is when we talk like how we're talking, a lot of people think you guys are getting your SBA. They think people are getting the unemployment. So, you know, they'll argue with you and they say, you don't know what you're talking about, you're lying, or you're a conspiracy theorist. But the governor and the president, the people that they look to tell them what's going on, are saying what we're saying. There's no money to cover the financial crisis, yet they're extending lockdowns in certain places. And then you have the madness, like the idea that you mentioned. They say you guys can't have a small class, but a retail store can have a large crowd. You know what I mean? Or they say we can gather for any reason, including a party. But you guys, you know, I'm sorry, a gathering of 10. That's the new law. That is the new law as of Friday. Anybody could cross-check me if they want. And yet you guys can't have a class of 10 people. You guys are told you have to wait. Why? Why?
I don't get
exactly.
it.
Why?
They should listen to me. But at the end of the day, they should have. If you're gonna shut shit down, shut everything down.
That's what I understand.
Don't select what you're shut down. Shut everything down for a couple weeks, and then you did this, and then that's how much, by the way, I got by the SBA. Fucking nothing.
And that's the harsh truth. And I tell people that, and they tell me I'm lying. I'm like, are you kidding me? I know these guys on a personal level. They wouldn't lie to me. And then I got family members. I know they're not lying to me. I'm looking at their documents. You know what I mean? Yeah. My girlfriend, my fiance, is responsible for all this stuff for her business. You know what I mean? So she sees what's going on. It's crazy. I mean, they even ruled things like construction non-essential. Or in some states, they banned organic whole food and seeds of food. But you guys, you know, you can buy a pack of cigarettes. Like, I don't understand. So with that said, we're going to get more into those things. Is there anything else you want to tell us?
On our minds.
Absolutely, Chris. That's what it is. Bro, don't something funny about it. Said I got this. My uncle Joey owns a window business. He's deemed essential, but they shut down residential construction.
Yeah, who's going to put the windows?
What was the point?
Yeah,
you know, what's the point?
Yeah.
I'm always in real estate. And they're shutting her down. And she's shut down. They said, "Oh, you can sell shows, but you got to stay inside." Oh, Chris, you probably know about those rules.
Yeah, I have a listing now that I wasn't even able to show.
There you go.
It was so difficult, but I sold it anyway. But still, it was difficult.
You know,
of course you did.
We're in New York, right? so we're seeing this from a New York standpoint, but I've seen some other states. You know what they have in some other state stores? Stuff that is already on the shelf is not being allowed to be sold because they're classifying different items as non-essential and essential. But guess what they threw in those particular stores I'm talking about? They added to non-essential. They added electronics, right? So we can argue different things. But clothing is on that. On top of clothing, organic food and seeds. You can't buy garden seeds that are right there on the shelf because it's a non-essential item.
That's crazy.
I don't see it on the cigarettes, on the tobacco. No. They say it's a respiratory, right? You know. So with that said, we're gonna get more into those different things. I want to talk to Bobby. Unless
my grandmother just walked in. I'll be right back.
Yes, I understand. Happy birthday! Thank you for taking time out on your birthday. Do your thing. All right, so Bobby, let's talk to you for a second, Bobby. All right. So long story short, before you get on, I just want to brief you in. So Bobby Campbell is one of the longest running places on Long Island. He goes back so far. I don't want to say how far because he might sound old, but he's part of Jackhammer Promotions. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, Bobby, but you guys are over 60 shows in, right?
Yeah.
So over 60 promotions. Your gym has been open over 10 years. You've been how many champions have came out of your gym?
27.
27. So the point I'm getting at is that,
I mean, you can go with 30-something. We'll take that.
So what I'm getting at is that, you know, in the fight culture, in the fight game, to run a fight business, it's super hard. You know, I've seen so many places come and go without a pandemic because it's very hard to run this business. So you got people like Joe and Christian who just got your own establishments. You guys have been head coaches in other places, and now you guys are starting your own thing and building your own legacy. And then we got a guy who took all this time out to build that legacy. And you're affected too by this pandemic. Now the pandemic hits, you lose all your clients or your customers. And for you, it's not just a gym. You're a fight promoter. Your fight promotion is necessary. They don't even want a gym to open up. like you're waiting to phase 4 for your gym to open up, and you don't even know if promotion is going to open up. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, I think I've said too much about your story, so I want to hear it from your mouth. So give us a little bit about how this is affecting you and how it's making you feel and what concerns you have.
All right. Well, I'll be honest, the whole thing. So obviously, October 23rd this year will be 15 years in business. I'll be in on the gym. I've been 11 years in the fight promotion. Obviously, I had big gyms. I moved my location 3 times, so I know how rough it is just to have the gym when there's nothing like this going on. It's a very rough thing to do. And as most of you know, before this happened, I had a show April 17th scheduled that obviously I put a lot of money into the show to invest in my show before it happened. It was going to be a sold out show. Obviously, you know, I support my family, so I count on this show. You know, it's a big chunk of my, you know, income for the year. So I put all this money into that.
To add to that, and I hope this don't sound like an insult or anything, because me personally, I live check to check, right? But so what I'm getting at is almost like as if you live show to show, right?
Yeah, well, show to show, month to month, you know, with the gym.
Yeah, quote unquote. I'm not trying to say, you know, I hope I don't sound
very rough.
You know.
And I put a lot of money into the show, and it sucked because now a sold out show April 17th didn't happen. I postponed it to May, didn't happen, and now I have to shut the gym down. So now I'm not getting income from the gym. And of course, I got no, you know, loan, and I still haven't got unemployment yet. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, and I'll tell the story. I've been on the phone nonstop trying to get unemployment, and when I finally get hold of someone that actually called me back, they just went over my application, couldn't do anything. They said someone else would call me. That was on Easter.
That sounds
after that. After that, I get an email finally that I had to fill out a new form. Well, I fill out the form. And I'm be honest with everyone here, I filled out the form and I filled it out incorrect. So once I filled it out incorrect, I sent it in. I didn't know I filled it out incorrect. And it says I'm declined. Literally about to cry. I write them an email, like literally crying. Like literally write them like, listen, I'm supporting my family. My son's less than 2 years old. I gotta pay for food for him. Like, I need this. They finally I admit they actually emailed me back and they resent me the form. I filled it out. I still have yet to get unemployment yet though. I'm in the system and it says that I'm good for unemployment for 104 days, but zero money has went in my pocket. So that's a real story and that's legit coming from like, you know, like I'm gonna be honest, like, you know, I need that money. You know, I have a family to feed, you know.
Absolutely.
And my other job, like, because I know, you know, Christian does the real estate and I know Joe does construction. My other job is my fight promotion. So I didn't
even consider that. I'm sorry to cut you off for 1 second. Hold that thought because I don't want you to lose that. But you just made me realize something that's super critical. Each of you guys' gym is infected, right? But your side jobs are affected as well. I know real estate got a hit. Construction was shut down. So you guys can't even rely on your other occupations. Wow, I didn't even realize that.
Good thing we're fighters.
You got that fighting spirit, right? Yeah. You guys hang on, and you know, and it's so crazy because when you guys talk about your concerns, we get labeled insensitive, but like it almost feels like who cares about you guys and what you're going through, you know? But I'm sorry, Bobby, I didn't mean to cut you off. So take us back to what you were saying.
No, but now I have my 2 businesses, and obviously, if you guys know me. My girlfriend works on the fight promotion. She runs the fight promotion. So she works in that. Other than that, she doesn't have a job. She's a stay-at-home mom. So now I'm taking care of the whole family and I have no income at all. I can't even get unemployment. So this really hit home for people that don't understand. Like, I didn't get no unemployment. I didn't get no loans. I didn't get anything. I still got to pay my landlord who freaking sends me freaking rent bills that I'm late every freaking week. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Which leads me to the other thing we should mention, because a lot of people will tell you, I'm sure you've heard this already, Bobby. They're like, oh, you want to get evicted to August, whatever the crap.
Yeah.
It don't matter. You guys owe all that money.
All the back
on top of the new month coming. And it blows my mind that people don't see the basic, you know, inevitability.
Top of the electric. If we have software that we run, we got to pay that monthly. You know, there's so many bills that incur.
Yeah, the overhead is crazy.
It's crazy.
It is crazy, and I am very keen. I talked to almost every gym owner on Long Island I've been talking to. because you know every time I try to see what they're doing, you know, I never hate on gym owners. I just want to see if I can get an idea on how I could get some kind of income for myself and my family.
Yeah,
you know, so it's never hate. Like if I saw a gym opening, I'll be like, good for them. Let them do their thing. You know, maybe I could sneak an idea from them and try to do what they're doing. You know what I mean? So I never hate on gym owners. I think whatever the gym owners are doing, some of them actually have good ideas. Like I was telling Christian earlier that I saw Kit Fit. I don't even know what it is. Of Bohemia, they were doing an outside boot camp class. You know, like no hate. I think it's great. You know what I mean? And also I know Mike Corleone, a friend of mine. He actually got caught. Someone ratted him out. You know what I mean? And also, I was on the phone with Tom Batone. I don't know if you guys know Tom Batone from AFC Kickboxing.
He's another long-standing guy.
He actually showed me a lot of emails from you know the state on when he's allowed to open. He's been emailing the state to see when he could open it.
So what did they tell him? Because he's been
they're telling him phase 4. And
he's been around forever. It's crazy. Like
Well, I don't see why one.
That was scary. I don't know what the cause that.
Even me and one other person. I'm sorry. I don't see why just us as coaches and at least one other person can be in a large facility and hold a responsible workout. He's muted.
I agree. I agree. 101.
Oh, sorry about that.
Allowed right now.
Sorry, Joe. You've been muted, so we missed anything you might have said.
No, it's fine. You did it on purpose. No, but Christian's right. I mean, why can't you have one guy in there demonstrating so people at home don't get hurt?
I'll do one better. Why can't you have 10? Why can't you have 10? You got 10 for a party?
I'll tell you, what people don't realize, man, is that when phase 4 comes for these gyms, it's still 20% capacity.
That's what I was going to get to next.
One of my best friends owns Pro Gym Supply in West Babylon.
Yeah.
A lot of the big gyms have sold their equipment to them to make room. So, and people are going to be on time limits. So think about that. You're going to walk into a gym on a 45-minute time limit. You've been waiting forever, separated, and then they're letting people out the back door, and then the next crowd of people comes in. I mean, what are we doing, man? Mm-hmm. What are we doing?
Yeah. If you're going to allow 10 people to gather for any reason, you know, they're not there in your backyard to make sure you're following whatever. Their excuses, I'm assuming their excuses like, oh, we don't know if they're going to follow it, this and that. You know what? It's too bad. If you're going to make it 10 people can do it for whatever, but not for your livelihood. And, you know, speaking of livelihood, while you walked away, Joe, Christian mentioned something and Bobby mentioned something that, like, it put another layer to this I didn't even realize. You know, we're talking about losing the business and the rent and not making that money, but you guys also have side jobs, right? But your side jobs were also taken away due to the pandemic. You know, your construction, I know because my fiance is in construction. Right. That was taken away. Real estate, Christian, you know what I mean? Bobby, the fight promoter, you know what I mean? That was his other job. So let's talk about that now. The new rules that they're setting. You know, it's bad enough that you guys have to wait to phase 4 to have maybe 10 people if they allow, right? Yeah. They're setting up rules and the capacity thing. The capacity thing, like even in the event that they're letting you guys reopen, you're still in danger zone for God knows how long because you owe all that back rent. You got new people that may or may not come, that may or may not be scared to come. Yeah. And then they're saying you only have 25% capacity. That makes a major difference. Yeah. You know,
Jose, I'm going to do you one better.
Yeah, let's go.
Back pay on your mortgage.
Yeah, I keep thinking of that aspect.
So when you go, again, everything is said, but this is affecting our personal life.
Yeah.
Christian's married. Bobby's married. We're all married.
Car payments.
Kids.
Leases.
Yeah. We focus on the rent, but it's everything. Yeah, it's everything.
And my daughter is, like I said, she has autism. So, and not all of her services are covered.
Exactly.
So you're going to sit there and tell me that my daughter can't get educated and I can't open up my business? I mean, it's just so many things that the person, you know, it's effective because your wife is panicking, my wife is panicking, they're all panicking because they don't know when we're going to be afford a house. We're going to go into foreclosure. And that's another layer of things. And a lot of people who are commented who are saying, you know, don't be selfish, don't open your gym. These are people who do not have small businesses. They don't know. So you're not affected by it in any way. So you're not going to sit there and tell me and give me a spiel about it when you could go run to the liquor store and get drunk because you're an alcoholic, and we have to deal with that. Well, this is, like I said before, Mike, this is our drug. Bobby trains. Christian still trains. This is what we do to stay sane. And people are flipping out, bro. The people are flipping out because they can't work out. They're flipping out. So then you got to start worrying about the mental state and everything else that people have.
And the physical.
A lot of stuff,
because
man.
working out boosts your immune system. Fresh air boosts your immune system. And, you know, you mentioned that your child, right? Your child is going to need certain medical attention, certain 100%. Medical care, and certain academic attention that is different and catered to her. And from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, but she's not getting those services, right? Like from what I understand, people who have special children that have special needs, they like on regular remote school, right? Are you still getting some of that aid for that?
Bro, do you know how hard it is for my wife to stay home and do homeschooling with a kid who is autistic and she's not a qualified person?
Yeah, she's not trained to deal with that stuff. You know, I mean, absolutely. I have a cousin with it, so I've seen it.
Yeah,
I know
it's you know, and hats off to our wives for dealing with it through all this shit, but. It's crazy,
sorry,
man.
You broke out. Can you repeat what you said?
I said hats off to all of our wives who are dealing with us during this shit. Because, you know, I mean, it's the whole thing is just one big, bro. The thing is just not well controlled. This thing is not set up right. I mean, I won't go politics. I promise you I won't. And I'm not going to.
None of us are. That's the thing too. Is
you're worried about me.
Anytime we talk about what we talk about, they think we're one of the sides or something. You know, it's crazy. Like just so people know, none of us have a side. Like we're all regular ass people, neutral people. And if you say something like, I'm worried about how I'm gonna feed my kids, they say you must be that side or that side. It's crazy how convoluted everything has become. You know what I'm saying? People are labeling and judging. You know, some people think it's non-essential for you to buy a gift for someone, but then they'll go get a gift for themselves. Like it's crazy how things are happening. You know what I mean? Like you can have 10 people to gather, but you can't have 10 people for fitness. You can't let a barbershop give a haircut. Like what's going on? Numbers have been low for almost 2 months.
You know what ran through my mind, man? When I was watching Christian's video, the one that he posted, I know where Christian is on William Floyd, exactly where he is. And I'm looking, I'm like, man, there's a fucking Home Depot right across the street with 300 people. And this guy who's just trying to do the right thing for his company can't be in there by himself. Come on, man.
You know what blew my mind too is that it's food is food, right? I found out that they shut down small businesses that had food. Yeah. But they let the big businesses, and it's they got food, so it's okay. You know, it's
look, there's a greater plan, right? We could dissect it, but it'll take a long time to really do that. Yeah. But there's a greater plan, and the small guys aren't included. That's really
that's what it looks like. Yeah, because the only people that can survive something like this are the biggest of the big. People, and then when they put out the SBA, a lot of people don't know, and I follow all these different things. The federal government's words, quote unquote, was this. We got duped by the big businesses. They stole all y'all money. We're sorry. We're trying to figure out how to get it back. That's literally, quote unquote, paraphrase.
So that's our fault. You know what I mean? That's our fault that we have to wait. It's
And like you said, it's more than just the rent. It's just business. Yeah, personal lives, food.
Yeah.
I mean, I love when Joe says, if you don't own a small business, you don't understand what it is, what it's like.
You know, speaking of small businesses, there's another business owner, a guy I know. Shouts out to him, Carmine. I don't know if you're watching. Shouts out to you, buddy. We'll get you on something. He's probably mad at me because I didn't bring him on this because he wanted to talk about this. He's a gym owner. Shouts out to his gym, Carmine BJJ. But he pointed something out not so long ago in one of his videos that really made sense, right? And I don't know how to say this without sounding like that, but you guys, right, are smaller gyms, right? You're big deals to me, so please don't take this the wrong way, right? But the average smaller gym typically may only have a class of 9 people.
Right.
May only have a class of 10 people. And that's how they're getting by, is on that minimum. You know, these big gyms, they lucky they might have 30 people for a class, 40 people. So they're arguing, that's too many people. Like you said, like they're treating all the gyms like if they're all the big gyms.
We're one entity and we're not. That's
exactly. Yeah, y'all different. Dude, Fight clubs are different from big fitness.
Bro, listen, my facility is 3,000 square feet. By law, I'm allowed to have 250 people in that.
That's nothing. You got space to spread people out. Yeah, you got space, and they still won't let you.
It's insane, man.
It's crazy. It's not fair. It's not fair. And it's not just fair. It's not even a matter of fair and equality. It's a matter of survival. It is. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. You hit it on the head, bro. It's survival, bro. It comes down to survival. And at the end of the day, hey man, at the end of the day, shit, we might be calling something Strong Force Campbell and putting all three together.
I think he's onto something. I think he's onto something.
Because we
Omega Gym be the best gym ever.
Be the best gym ever. But we're hardworking guys, dude, who do our thing. And I just don't tell us we can't open our shit and don't give a shit about it if we try to make a little, I mean, and we're not, like Kristen said, we're not even charging people right now. And these big gyms, I know for a fact, they're hitting people with maintenance fees. They're charging every fucking month.
And you know how I feel?
And
I'm sorry, again, you had a point.
No, that's it, bro. No, you're it, bro.
Let's say I thought you were done. It confuses me sometimes. I was just going to say that, we're on here and we're giving our testimonies. We're addressing our feelings. But let's be real about one thing. And our feelings do matter. So don't get it wrong. Our feelings matter because it's survival. But in a sense, our feelings don't matter. You know why? Because they made it legal for you to do it for any reason but money. The fact that the governor said 10 people are allowed on Friday, as of right now, every gym should be open with at least 10 people. Yep. That makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? It's safe for 10 people to gather for any reason except to save your business, to feed your so with that said, we could talk about that all day, but there is one more thing I want to address and talk. I'm sorry, yeah.
No, I was going to say, okay, so I think because of the size of our gyms and we're niche gyms, we're studio type of facilities, we're more one-on-one, we're similar to a barbershop or a salon, right?
Yeah.
Those are in phase, 2? We should be in phase 2 and have similar protocols.
100%.
That's my point.
It's almost like they don't want people healthy. Right. It's like, you can't go do something that makes you healthier. Don't do that.
Yeah. And that's another thing. They never mention anything about nutrition on the news. Yeah. They never mention nothing about exercising to boost your immunity. They talk about wear your mask. They talk about we can't wait to give you a vaccine, but they don't ever tell you about vitamin D, vitamin C. They don't tell you about getting out in the sunlight, go for a walk, like anything like that.
And they're
not even educated on masks.
Yes, and
on the gloves or anything else.
Yeah, and another thing too, to go with that is that they don't distinguish what words mean. So hear me out for a second. One of the things they took away is elective surgeries, right? So people hear elective, oh, that's a choice, must not be important. Bullshit. People out there with degenerative diseases, if they don't have steady care, steady certain medications or steady treatments that are elective, they're going to slowly die from their degenerative disease. There's people out there medically affected dying from the lockdown. So there was people dying of COVID. Yes, there still is some people dying of COVID, but there's people dying of other stuff too. And it's weird because if you try to say, what about those people dying? They'll say, what, you don't care about COVID dying? No, I didn't say that. But what it feels like you're telling me is that only COVID matters. And those other people's deaths don't matter. And that's not the way. We have to figure out a way to help everybody. You know what I'm saying? And if they can't help everybody, then you guys need to be open. You know what I mean? If they're not going to give, so I want to get into another topic. So before we do that,
how's the UFC doing? Where those guys?
I'm getting that, Bob. So before I get into that, I just want to say, Joe, I know it's your birthday, so happy birthday! Thank you for joining us. We're going to take another 15, maybe 20 minutes to talk about this next topic. You can stay along with us, or if you want to retreat for your birthday, I totally understand. Are you going to stick with us, or do you want to go enjoy your birthday?
I'm going to go with the family just because.
Absolutely, yeah. They're probably like, "Yo,
no. Grandma's 101 today.
Oh, God bless.
Wow. Oh, so we got double birthdays.
Yeah, we have double birthdays today.
Happy birthday.
I'll definitely, but I just want to say, man, one thing, is that seriously, Chris, mad respect, brother. Mad respect to you, Bobby, mad respect, and Jose, you guys are great for doing this. But at the end of the day, man, we need to do something. Whatever it is, look, I just got a big mouth. I don't give a shit. And Bob, that's what Bobby was waiting for. So here it comes, Bob. At the end of the day, is that I'm at that lifeline where I don't have much more time. I'm at the point where it's either going to go down or I'm going to stay there. So I plan on reopening. I plan on reopening within the next week. I've already called my clients, but again, practicing safe, bringing them in 6 feet apart. I'm not into getting anybody hurt. But again, I'm going to go out on my own terms. And if I'm not going to let someone else dictate my terms. I work too hard. Christian worked too hard. Bobby's worked too hard to keep his place. Bobby has longevity in this. You know, I know Christian for a long time. And I remember, it's funny, I didn't know it, but I took, when Christian left Unique, great fucking move, by the way, brother, is that, that's a whole other thing we get into. But I know a whole other thing we can get into, but I won't. And that, you know, and then Christian
Everybody left there. Go.
Christian went there. And look at what he did in the amount of time that he did in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which was an inspiration to me to do what I did. And I'm there right now. But you're welcome. It's the truth, brother. I have respect for you. And at the end of the day, it's like, you know, guys, we have to do something as a community because no matter how well we know each other, we're brothers.
Yeah.
We do the same thing. We know we all represent our, you know, Jack Hammer and Bob. We all go to the fights. We're all there. Bobby's the best fucking promoter that I know for all these local fights. There's no one better than Bobby. Nobody puts on a show with fucking 2,000 people in Mulcahy's. I've been to these other fights where there's 20 people in a fucking cold warehouse doing nothing. So, you know, and it's just, we need to bring that back. We need to stop being that. Everyone's dead and we're still alive.
Yeah.
We're not doing nothing, bro. And at the end of the day, man, you know, thank you for giving me this platform. Jose, I love you, brother. Chris, mad respect. Bobby, mad respect. Sir, I love everybody. Let's do at the end of the D, man, at the end of the day, let's see what happens in a couple of weeks. Let's all get together and do something. I don't give a fuck if we're outside Christian's place protesting, Bobby's place, my place. Location don't matter. There just needs to be a message to be sent and understand why we're sending that message.
If they could riot, loot, and not get arrested, I think we could open up and we'll be all right.
Bro, I'm with you, man. So,
I know, right? It's
just, and that's, you know, that's the whole thing, man. It's crazy how people, the priorities are all fucked up.
I do want to point out, the same governors and mayors that told you not to go outside for any reason are the same guys saying go outside and protest. I
stand behind.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused, you know. So with that said, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking time out of your family, your birthday, and I really hope, you know, things get better. Things get better, man.
Bro, you know what? We're gonna make it get better because I know fucking Christian's a fighter. Bobby, there's a difference where we're fighters and we're survivors. Nothing was ever given to any of us. Everything we did, we worked from the bottom. No one ever gave me shit. No one gave these two guys anything. So that's what I mean. To let these crooked motherfuckers take it away from us, it's just not something that's gonna be a fucking option. So
we're not letting that happen.
Respect. No, we ain't gonna let it. Chris, I'll beat your plan if you do the virtual together soon, brother.
All right, buddy.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, man. Take care, guys. Thank you.
Yo, hit leave studio. I don't know if you heard me. I can take him off the screen.
Hold on.
He definitely he'd be on the screen. Can you get him off the screen?
Yeah, I can get him off the screen at least. But his thing's gonna record like all day. No, actually, when I hit the live, he'll stop. He's good. He's just open for right now. But he's off the stream. Bobby, we'll just give him a second because he lagged. Sometimes the lag happens.
Jose, by the way.
Yeah.
By the way, great show, man. I like the concept. I like what you're doing. This is great.
Yeah, I wanted it to be more about meaningful things, you know, and things that are important to the fighters, to the fight promoters, you know, everyone involved in that whole scene, which is a perfect segue. You're a natural at this. Thank you for helping me segue this. So let's talk about right now. We got the UFC came back. Pro boxing is coming back. You know what I'm saying? States are opening up everywhere. Some other states are opening up slowly. Some states have all these crazy rules. Long story short, that's another thing. We're doing all this talking about what could come next, what could happen. Long Island's starting to open up, but New York is one of the states that broke it into regions with this thing they invented called a circuit breaker that has criteria you have to meet to open. And then if you trigger one of the 7 like alarms, you get shut down again. It's very scary, very uncertain. Yeah. So with that said, professional combat sports are active again. How can you have a pro scene without an amateur scene? You guys have been training people forever. You're a fight promoter, Bobby. How, you know, like right now, these fighters that they got out there, first of all, they have the right to fight. They have the right to train for the fight, but the amateurs can't. You know what I mean? Right now, that'll be okay. A couple of years from now,
who says they have the right to train? That's my big question. Like everyone always thinks I'm hating on UFC. I just want to know how UFC has all these guys in fight camps training, sparring other people. I just want to know how that's able.
Well,
how come we're not able to do that? They're able to do that.
To answer, money's part of it, obviously. But to answer the question is, All the states have different rules. Some of these guys states have more open, I guess. You know, people are fighting.
I'm not hating, but there's
no,
a
I
lot
know
of
you're not
New
hating.
York
I was just describing from the fighters
on these UFC events.
But the fact that they're even open, then you can, you know, that's what you can say, like, oh, wait, why are they allowed to hold an event? You know what I mean? You're not allowed to hold an event. Amateurs and pro locals aren't allowed to hold their events. You know, there's other fight promoters out there. It's not just you. You know what I mean? And none of the fight promotions are being allowed, but the pro promotion, UFC, is. And boxing is going to be following suit. NBA is coming back. MLB is coming back. You know what I mean? And they're coming back soon. You know, I've already read some of the rules are crazy, Christian. Let me tell you one. You follow soccer a little bit?
No.
All right.
Soccer for me.
All right. I just thought as a Latino, maybe I'm a Latino, so I could make these judgments. It's not racist. So I just had to clear that up. All right. So with that said, soccer, they were going to remove tackling. Tackling, if you don't know what it is, guys will come in contact to each other real quick, little bump. Try to steal the ball, whatever. So they're allowing them to tackle during the game, but outside of the game, they must follow 6-foot rule and mask.
It's a joke.
NBA basketball, they're able to play a 4-quarter game, touch each other, foul the shit out of each other, like they know they do. You know what I'm saying? Slam dunk on somebody. You know, your groin areas open.
Trying to back to the boards.
But when the game's not on, backstage, everyone got to be 6 feet from each other at all times. It doesn't settle right with me. This makes, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, we could talk about UFC face-offs, so we could talk about that. You got two guys facing off in mask, but yet they're gonna roll around and fight each other. Why they wear masks face off?
And to add to that face-off, I double check before I say this. I always double check everything I say, so anybody could double check it, but I'm pretty good with what I say. So they all get tested, right? So some people argue what the incubation period is, right? But let's say, what is the lowest you heard? The lowest that anyone says is what, 2 or 3 days? So all these people were tested, and within a time of less than 24 hours, they still have to wear masks and stay away from each other at all times. Right. They force them to face off with masks, but 12 hours later, they're going to beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
So I argue that mask is about 2 illusions: the illusion of controlling the situation, and possibly the illusion of just making us go along with rules. Yeah. Like it's weird. How are you going to let guys fight? Guys you tested know are clean. It's smaller than the incubation window, the lowest you heard of. So you can't even argue that he tested in the morning but caught it by 10 a.m. and then gave it to somebody by 12. It doesn't work that way. Even if, because obviously different experts say different things. People have different beliefs. So let's say, what's the lowest you heard? Ain't nobody talking about lower than 3 days.
Right. Yet
we're still acting like you can get it in 5 minutes. Well,
I read an article, a study, I think it was done in France. 455 people were exposed. They didn't have this supposedly it looked like a serious, a legit study. And one person had it, but they were asymptomatic, where they weren't, no fever, no coughing, nothing. They were like me and you right now. They were exposed to 455 people. After 5 or 6 days being exposed to this one person, not one of them got sick from being around this asymptomatic person. So I'm comfortable reading that, and a few other articles that back that up, knowing that if somebody has it but they're asymptomatic, that I'm not going to get it. They're not coughing on me. They're not. There's no fever. There's no sneezing in the room. So,
you know, that brings to mind something else.
I think they know this too, though. That's why they're allowing sports to come back. They're like, look, we know that this is asymptomatic. You're not going to get it if you're going to be asymptomatic. So I feel like that's why they know more than we do. So they're allowing this.
But look, check this out. I don't know if you noticed, but I can hit you with something that'll back you up, right?
Yeah.
So there's different experts that say different things, right? And we all have the people we trust. But the people who don't want to listen to any other stuff only follow CDC, right? That's their number one location. All right. So if you go to CDC, they're even telling you what some of the other experts. It's weird. It's almost like on the news, they say CDC says this, but then you go to CDC and you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give 2 examples. One example is something I heard today on the radio, and then I hear people say all the time. They say it's airborne. I literally heard a person on the radio say, this is literally said, he brought up a story that happened in March. I found out about the story in March. He's talking about it like it happened the other day. The story is there's a church of 60-something people that had a religious meeting within, I don't know, the first 2 weeks or so of the pandemic, right? So they had a church choir. What they don't tell you on the radio is that they drove in on this tiny bus for a long period of time. They went home on the same tiny bus. But what the radio told you is that they all got it because somebody was singing. I lie to you not. I just don't know what radio station is.
Wow.
He said that this was his quote unquote words. He said a vocalist must have had it. And according to him, he's being told top virologists say, he doesn't even say who these are. That's what they ever throw out. A top virologist.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't even matter with whose side. They just say a top virologist. He said a top virologist says that the singer opened her mouth and the room filled up with COVID in seconds. Do you know how much bullshit that is?
Yeah, I know.
If it was airborne filling up rooms, why are the governors and the politicians putting their masks on and off? And to be honest with you, if it is airborne, we all got it. Let us out. Let us get back to work. You know what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
And now to address the airborne thing, because people will tell me, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're not an expert. CD says it's airborne. Why don't you guys read what CD says about that? This is the CDC's words. They think it can become airborne under only 2 scenarios. You guys know what an asthmatic treatment is when someone has asthma?
With like the pump?
Not the pump, but the nebulizer machine.
Yeah.
Okay, so the machines that create air for breathing, an oxygen machine, asthmatic treatment, those are examples I could think of.
My son uses that nebulizer.
Yes. All right. So the theory is, and this is the CDC's words, the theory is that if a patient has COVID and gets a nebulizer treatment of some sort, theoretically, there's a possibility, these are their words, theoretically possibility that the nebulizer, which the way it acts is it takes a liquid and turns it into a vapor. Therefore, the liquid now could be breathable, but the disease itself is not airborne. So what they argue is that if a person has COVID and gets an asthma treatment, it would put it in the air for up to 3 hours, only under the circumstance and context of an asthma treatment in a tiny room.
Right.
But the governors, I heard the governor himself, while he's not wearing a mask, say, did you guys know it's airborne? The governor makes the reporters stay 6 feet apart from each other, but they're close. Yeah. People call them out, then they change. 2-3 weeks ago, a reporter called out Governor Cuomo for not wearing the mask. Now suddenly he puts it on when he walks out, and he puts it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
2 days ago, I watched him. This really happened. And if anyone wants to test me, I can give you the clip. The interview's over. He goes like this, okay, guys. And he pulls up the mask. Okay, guys. He opens it and closes it. He doesn't put it on. He opens it, closes it, and then puts it in his hand and gets up and walks out.
I think I saw that.
He said the other day, and somebody yelled at me. No, he didn't say that. I said, yo, Cuomo said he stands with the protesters. No, he didn't say that. You don't know shit. You just hate Cuomo and you love Trump. No. Cuomo said, and I pulled up the clip and I showed them. Cuomo said, I stand with the How do you stand with the protesters if the protesters are outside? You're saying people need to stay inside. Yeah. So he's like, don't go outside to save your life. Go outside and make a statement.
Yep.
Maybe he's encouraging stuff. So people, you know, like it just makes no sense. He says we can't be outside for fresh air. We can't go visit our family. We can't hug our family member. But he's telling people to go protest.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and this is not a shot at protesters. This is a shot at the contradictions that our political leaders are making.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and I forgot, it was another CDC thing that, you know, people use, but they didn't look at the context. You know what I mean? So it's there. So if it's your people that you trust saying it, why? And then I tell them that, and I say go to CDC, and they still tell me I must be lying.
Oh no, they're
on this, on that.
They're in love with their party line. When you're in love with a party line, if it doesn't fit your narrative, you don't want to absorb it.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens. I have a lot of different opinion on the different subjects. So obviously you fall on guess in the middle or on both sides. But what happens is when you say your opinion on one, depending on what side it's attached to, they assume the other. Right. So for argument's sake, let's say there's 50 major topics. I have a different opinion on each those 50 major topics. But when you're part of a political party, you have the same thought for all 50.
Right. You don't see that other side at all. You can't even open your mind to it.
You naturally and instinctively go straight to what your side said. Oh, my side feels this way about this. How can you ever come to a critical understanding? Or how can you ever discover corruption that may be there if you're aligning yourself with either political party?
Right,
You know
exactly. I tell everybody that.
It's a difficult scenario, you know, and it's crazy, you know. And one thing I'll add while we're on it, I wasn't going to get all deep, but yeah, bringing it out of me. What bothers me is this. Our population vote does not pick the winner. People constantly say, don't complain, go vote. But let's be honest. I can do that. I can go vote. But my vote doesn't change the winner.
Right.
And they'll say, oh, how are you going to change it if you don't vote? And I tell them my vote don't change the winner. And they say, yeah, I know that, but still go vote. You're part of the problem. Nothing's going to change if you don't vote. Population vote doesn't pick the winner. And then I ask, if the population vote doesn't pick the winner, why do the politicians go through so much trouble to make you pick one? You know? So I don't know. That's what I ask. I hope it just gets people thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. You got to start with
I didn't scare you guys. That's weird. You know, but it's just how I feel. Like, you know, I don't know what to say, you know. And that's not to say all voting, because what people don't realize is voting on a local level, that actually works. You can vote.
That's what I was about to say. Vote on your local level, but make sure you vote for somebody who is passionate
and your sheriff
and intelligent.
That's important. You could really make good changes in the police department depending on who your sheriff is. The sheriff has a lot of power. Those votes matter, you know. Focus on who's your sheriff, who's your local political leaders. Definitely. Absolutely. You know what I mean? But when you get to the mayor, governor, president, there's a lot of games being played. People need to be careful. You know what I'm saying? Is there anything anybody want to add? And then we're gonna get into like the capacity thing. But you know, I'm all over the place. I don't know if I missed something. Does anybody want to add anything?
No, we're good. I'm good.
Yeah, so I just want to talk about this capacity thing, right?
Okay.
So I know logically they're like, listen, we got to figure out a way to open safely. So we're setting safety procedures. But what I'm going to argue now is that some of these safety procedures, and I'm not saying, my opinion is not even what's actually a good safety measure or not. What I'm arguing is that certain safety measures are not going to change anything or save certain businesses.
Right.
Now, that goes into Bobby. So, Bobby, you're a gym owner, right? Let's put your gym to the side. Jackhammer Promotions. If Jackhammer Promotions right now wants to throw an event, the first thing Jackhammer Promotions has to be concerned with is the sanctioning body and the insurance fee. That's tens of thousands of dollars just to have a show. So hold that thought for a second. So now he needs to put up tens of thousands of dollars just to have the legal right and the insurance and the fighters covered safety. Then he needs to find I always say this word wrong. Help me, Bobby. What's the location that you venue? Yes, I have problems pronouncing that word. The venue wants to make their money. The venues typically make their money on the food and they make the money on the alcohol. The fight promoter makes the money on the ticket sales, aka the attendance. So now here we are. We're at a point where they say, okay, everything can open up back to normal, but 25% capacity. So now you hold your events at MOK's Pub and Grill, right? Shouts out to MOK's Pub and Grill. So now they're going to get brought down to a 25% capacity. I don't know what that 25% capacity is. I'm going to throw out a number. Let's say it's 100 people. All right. So now they got 100. It won't work. But I'm going to take the time out to literally break down each number. I know it's long with it, but people listening, they need to know because they don't see what we see. You know what I mean? So now you got 25% capacity, 100 people. After he books a fight of what's the average fight? How many fights you'd have on the card, Bobby?
13, 14.
13. All right. So we're going to go with his lowest count, 13, because sometimes you have more. 13, 14. That's 2 fighters per fight. So that's 2 times 13. Let's gonna go with 12 because it's easier for me for math. 24, right?
But no,
that's the right. Yeah. Oh, 26. Oh, if it's the 13, right? Oh, you better have math. I'm live and I'm hosting. When I'm hosting, my brain's all over. So I'm gonna go with 26, right? So that's 26 out of the 100 already. That's just the fighters. Each of those fighters have a corner man. Let's say, for argument's sake, you cut down the corner man from 3 to 1. You still got a shit ton of people. That's already like 50 people. And we're just talking about the fighters. Yeah. Then the venue is going to want their kitchen staff, their bar staff, their security. They could maybe acquire, even if they bring it down to the minimum, they probably need a good 50 people for regular night. Now that's 100. What's left for the tickets?
Yeah.
If he's not making no tickets, he's not going to bother with this because he's just going to lose money. And if the Mulcahy's don't make no money, they're not interested in Bobby throwing a thing.
Yeah.
And if Bobby don't got the money to pay the sanctioning body, he can't legally throw it. And the sanctioning body's not going to come down on their average cost because it's not their problem. They're going to continue to do what they've been doing. And I didn't mean like it's not their problem, like a negative dissing them. I'm just saying realistically, everyone has their own responsibilities, own concerns. The way they make money is from those fees they collect. If they lower their fees, you know what I'm saying? Essentially, I don't even know if they're able to. You know what I mean? You know, that's probably what we should do is in the future we follow up and we bring in a sanction body. I know a couple people from different sanction bodies. Maybe they could talk to us about, you know, the future or how this is going to work out. But I just don't see how it's going to do anything at 25%.
No, I mean, I love the sanction bodies, but I can see that'd be a lot of argument with the promoter and the sanction body because there's already talks of them wanting to test everyone in the building.
So everyone in the building. Wow. So that's
a big argument for me. They want me to get the staff there. They want me to get my staff there. They want all the trainers, all the cornermen at weigh-ins. Never, ever would it ever happen. It won't happen. I'm sorry, it won't happen.
Logistically, it's too much. And also now that raises another in my mind. That'll drive the sanction body's cost up. Because they're going to have to provide a test, which is going to drive the cost up on you. And because they're driving down the
Let me tell you something. It's hard enough to get the fighters to show up to weigh-ins, but now you want me to get their cornermen, their second cornermen. You want me to get my staff that's at fight night to come. I can't even get them to come on time. You want me to get them to come to weigh-ins the day before. You want me to get all Mulcahy's staff to come day? Not going to happen. It's physically impossible for them to happen.
I also caught wind, so I'm not going to say whose names or whatever, but I heard a fighter talking to a sanctioning body on a comment thread, a public comment thread on Facebook. The fighter asked, what was the COVID testing scenario? This was weeks ago, so I don't know what may have changed. I'm not saying this is accurate information. But what I happened to eavesdrop on, it was public, so I'm allowed to do that. I was reading the public comment. It said that they were contemplating if they were going to be doing 2 tests, because first they thought 1 test, you know, bare minimum because of the cost. But then people started arguing, well, when do you test them? The day before, the week before? People had different pros and cons for which day. So then his natural instinct was to say, okay, so maybe we'll do 2 tests.
Yeah.
He must have looked into the pricing because later I come being nosy because I want to know what's going on. So I read more of the comment thread that appeared later. And from what I read, the second testing drove up the pricing to an amount where they can't even consider it. So they're like, all right, so now 1 has to be because it's unrealistic. So who knows how much it drove their
That's crazy. Up. Before we started this, I was asking Christian how much was the test because he was saying his wife has to take the test when she goes back to work.
Yeah.
So that was my concern. I was wondering how much these tests really are.
I don't they make you pay for it too on top of that? Like is
that I don't know. I don't.
Well,
well, I don't know. I just know that her salon owner was saying that you can go get tested at CVS, but she never said that. I think it might be free, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's still new.
I don't think like for your situation, Bobby, for promotion wise, that you might have to pay a fee because it's a larger scale. But I think for like salons, they can go to like a CVS real quick and get a test. But on you, where they have to. Maybe they can go to CVS too the day before. I don't know how it's going to work.
Fair
enough. You just triggered something that I remembered though. So you guys are gym owners, and I'm sure if you would have heard this, you would have said something already. But I'm catching wind from other gym owners in other states that are further along. The states are starting to open their tracer programs. A lot of people are completely unaware of what that means and what's coming because things take time to come into effect. So it's official, it's just not into effect yet. The point I'm getting at is that part of the tracing program is they're requiring gyms to make logs of everything about every gym owner. Otherwise, they can't join the gym.
It's crazy.
So what they're arguing is that you guys will have to look a student in the face and say, listen, I need to know where all your family members live, where all of them work, everywhere you go, what is your normal schedule? Literally, where have you been this past week? Where do you go normally? Where do you work? Where is that location on the job?
That's
how many people you work with? Literally, the tracing program is that evasive. It gets even deeper. People are unaware of this. So I suggest anyone listening, look into the tracing program because it's there. And that is the crazy thing. How most people probably won't even join the school if they think they got to give all that up.
That was a concern of mine. Is like I have a class, right? One person gets traced. They trace everybody that was in the class. Now I got 15 members that can't come to my gym for 15 days. Now I got to freeze accounts. That's not going to
You're
work.
a little bit familiar with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby, I don't know if you noticed, but I looked into the Tracer program from the actual Tracer program. Like I read that, like this ain't a conspiracy. This ain't a link. I'm telling you what the Tracer program is. They plan on separating it into two types of quarantine and isolation. One is for tested positive people, and the other is for people who have just been exposed. So if you're creating these two things for the just exposed, that means that exposed is not even going to be tested or confirmed. They're just saying for safety's sake, for aggressive safety measures, and there's no limit to the isolation. So I could bring up an example. Let's say you're having a class, 15 people. Someone comes in on Monday, but they don't feel sick until Tuesday. On Tuesday, they go get their tests. Now, Wednesday, the results come in. This is what the Tracer program is going to do. Oh, you tested positive on Wednesday? All right. You need to go isolate every single person at that gym on Monday and all of their family members. And they want to separate everyone from each other because they're arguing that if you isolate a person, he's going to go give it to the people he lives with. You know what I mean? They're using the same bathroom. So
basically, you
right now, they're not.
Yeah,
they're going to put mandatory isolations for exposure. And that is a serious thing to be concerned with.
Yeah.
Just for exposure, that can get really out of hand quickly. Think about how many people, and it's not just your gym. That person stopped at Kmart. Now they got to go find those people at Kmart.
Yeah.
That person got their hair cut, before they came over. We got to go get everyone from the barbershop.
Yeah.
And then you could be quarantined or isolated more than once, as many times as needed. So I don't know. I'm sorry. You want to say, Christian?
I was going to say, I firmly believe that these restrictions and laws and these guidelines and these bills that are being passed there's a test to see how much we're going to just give in and bow down to it. I just feel like once we just ignore it, we just do what we do, take us to jail, do what you got to do. If people don't comply, it won't work. So as long as we don't comply as a whole, it'll all just push to the side eventually. But that's how we have to do it. We can't be like, yeah, we're going to follow suit because they'll just put more restrictions on us over the time. And that's not going to work.
Absolutely. And that's a fine line too, because they're clever. So we got to find a way to not comply without actually giving them an excuse to call martial law. For example, the current rioting that's going on. The rioting is not going to help the cause because it's used as an excuse. And let's be honest. In my opinion, rioters are different from protesters. I look at them like two totally different groups. Yep. But the rioting, the protesting is getting blamed for the rioting. Mm-hmm. The Black community is getting blamed for the rioting. But when you look at the rioting, it's people of all colors.
All colors.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I seen a legit video today of a guy paying a Black kid to go do some damage to a building. He showed it on video. Here, go over there. He was like directing in a riot. Like,
I could do better than that. I'm gonna do a plugin real quick. So don't forgive me for this cheap plugin. But on Tuesday, I'm doing we're recording the second half of my other podcast called the After Hours Show. It's supposed to be a purely entertainment show, but I couldn't help myself. So we're doing a special that's coming on Tuesday where I'm gonna be showing videos I've been collecting for the past 76 hours. That, knock on wood, hopefully haven't been deleted yet. I could show you multiple groups of white people destroying things and writing BLM, writing kill the cops. So I'm not saying it's a white thing either. They're trying to make it like a white-black thing. They're trying to make it a cop versus people thing. They're trying to make it rioters versus people who want order. They're doing all this stuff. There's a lot of weird shit going on. There are people that are finding random piles of bricks in cities everywhere. I woke up this morning and everybody's showing me pictures of all the destruction. Mm-hmm. Where do all these people get bricks from? Now all of a sudden, 15 different cities have bricks in their hands. And I could show you more than one video, not one, multiple videos of crowds of young people that are not Black writing Black Lives Matter on things and breaking things. So I'm not pinning this on the white group because obviously I have videos of white people and Black people rioting and breaking stuff. But what I'm arguing is that it's not a Black community thing. It's not a Black versus white thing. It's not a people versus the cops thing. You know what I mean? It becomes that because people be tricked into that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's what happens is people get this idea they create someone as an enemy, and then now it becomes like a violent thing. So we have to like non-violently do this stuff. You know what I mean? And you know, I just wouldn't want you or any of us to be misconstrued with that. You know, we're not saying go riot. You know what I mean? We're saying that there's so many things that contradict itself, and something has to be done, because if it don't, we're just gonna drown. You know, like it's literally come down to survival. So hopefully people watched our show with open mind.
Sorry, guys.
And it's fine. Open mind and an open heart. You know what I mean? Because I think we're being manipulated right now to fight, to war, to break things, to fight with the cops, to fight with each other, to fight with other races, to fight with the left side, the right side. You know what I mean?
Division.
Because when exactly, and not just for division's sake, but if there's enough rioting, they're gonna bring in the army, the military, and then we're screwed. You know what I mean? So, but I'm sorry if you have to go, Christian. I totally understand.
No, my battery was low. I was
the battery's getting low. Yeah, that happens. All right, so let's wrap this up. Unless anybody wants to make any other last comments or anything.
Nah, well,
nobody good.
I'll say, Bobby, you know, it was awesome sharing the platform with you today. Jose, thank you for having me.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. Just so everybody knows, me and Bobby helped me get ready for my 2006 Golden Glove Championships and my first pro fight. And he's hard. He hit hard like a mother, man.
I met
you. Good times.
Yeah, man. Good times.
I met you, Christian, years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I met Joe on my own.
Okay.
I did a little bit of training at Unique on the side. I trained a friend at Unique. That's how I met you.
Yeah.
And I've been training under Bobby. I had no clue that Bobby trained you too in the past.
Yeah.
Like Bobby never once.
We were sparring partners for a little while.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We were sparring partners. Just to say something, yo, I'm a boxer. Just to clarify that, because people think I'm like this MMA. I'm a boxer. I'm a boxer at heart. Just to let everyone know, I'm a boxer at heart.
I know you are.
And I can box.
Hell yeah, you can box. He hit me. He hit me. I was like, damn, what the hell was that? I was like, let me stay away.
That's good. That's good. You want to bring in, you know, you want to bring in people that are going to push you and bring the best.
He definitely did. He definitely did. So much respect to you, Bobby. Always a pleasure, man, seeing you.
Thank you, Christian, for joining us. Thank you, Strong Island Boxing. Thank you, Bobby Campbell, for joining us. Thank you, Campbell's Kickboxing. Thank you, Jack Cameron Promotions. And Joe left us prior. Thank you, Joe, Energy Force Training. We're going to sign out. We may or may not have a follow-up. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Yes.
It was nice talking. Bobby, stay on the line. Don't get off just yet. I'm going to end the line. For you, your battery. Take care, Christian.
All right, guys. Peace out.
Have a good day. All right. So now we're going to sign off, guys. If you guys want to see the replay, facebook.com/MMABUG, or you can go to YouTube and look for MMABUG TV. This is MMABUG Round Table episode 1. I don't know when episode 2 comes, because this is not a weekly podcast. It's a podcast about serious issues attaining to the amateur fight scene. With that said, we're going to get out of here. Bobby, do you want to say any last words? I know that
see you guys soon. I'll see you guys. Go ahead.
Hopefully in the show, right? Hopefully you're trying to target a show.
Yeah.
What's the date on that?
Yeah, we're trying for something August 2nd, but you know everything's up in the air. So I mean, hopefully,
like we don't know.
Weeks we figure out what's going to actually happen.
It's probably not going to go down with the way they're trying to make things. But keep your ears out, because if it can go down, and maybe they'll watch us and they say, you know what, they blew our spot. We need to let them have a fight show and open their gym. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that'll happen. So that's in August. And
that is true.
Man. You know, there's a lot of power in writing. So guys, if you want your gyms to open up, you want your coaches to get their jobs back, write letters to your local leaders. You don't have to necessarily go out and break a bunch of shit. You'd be surprised the power of those letters to your local leaders. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll help. Give that a shot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna end this live, but Bobby, stay on the room for a second, one more second longer. But we're ending live now, guys. Take care.